Hey guys, Crypto Mike here with the mic check. 1 2 1 2. Is this thing on? How you guys doing? Today I'm gonna talk about. Okay, am I back? Let me know if you can hear me, if you can see the screen. Let me know. Okay, so this actually helped change my life. Thanks, Kay. It really did. It helped change my life. Oh, I thought you meant volume as in decimals or decibels. Uh, Anyways, so why did it change my life? Well, I had adhered to a specific style of philosophy um, and living. Growing up Catholic and going through catechism and all that good stuff that you go through when you're Catholic, when you're raised a Catholic. I didn't like it. I didn't like it at all. I didn't understand it, nothing about it. I mean, it was just an easy way out. You go to church once a week and then you live however you want. But as long as you go to church once a week and you couldn't even understand the pastor who had the strongest accent I've ever heard, I don't even know if he was speaking English. I don't even know. Couldn't understand him my whole childhood. So we went to mass, but I also went to, I was in and out of different schools. We moved a little bit here and there, so I went to a Christian school and I was raised basically Christian Catholic. The Christian's a lot easier to grasp, being a Christian. Now, the only thing is that I still didn't really I didn't understand it too much. Didn't really understand it. Growing up and going through cycles and figuring out patterns, you go in and out of the 3D realm, you go, sometimes you got to step back into the 3D realm because you feel you've learned enough. I mean, honestly, if I was truly going towards the path of enlightenment, I wouldn't come back, and that's a kind of a crazy thing to even say. If I was listening to what I'm saying right now, it sounds kind of crazy, but people are opening their minds and expanding their horizons and their visions more and more nowadays. They're starting to kind of understand because more and more people are talking about it. It's becoming more acceptable, which is okay. That's fine. I like it. I mean, it helps me to get out of the trap that I had been caught in for most of my life, the religion trap. And I'm not saying religion's bad, but when you don't get it, you don't understand it, and you kind of feel like you're stuck. Sometimes you gotta break free. Now, what did Jesus do? He broke free. Why does the Bible not speak of anything he did throughout the ages of 18 to 30? Where did he go? What did he do? I mean, it doesn't make sense. What did he do? Well, I mean, he traveled far and wide.
Sorry.
It's okay. It's okay.
Wrong.
I've got quick reflexes. I'm a ninja. So he went to India. Guess what he studied? You guys, there's a whole lot of stuff that we think we know that we don't. And I hate to say it, but we've been lied to a lot. And that's how we are controlled. And this is something I truly believe. I truly, strongly believe it. And once you open your eyes to this fact, you can't go back. You always know. You just always, and then oh my gosh, then you just keep going down the rabbit hole. And sometimes you don't want to, Most of the time I want to find the truth. I'm thirsty for it because you know what? Guess what? People are going to call you crazy. People are going to make fun of you. Friends are going to leave you because you're not cool to be with when you keep talking about crazy shit like the stuff I talk about. Thankful for me, thankfully for me, I have the internet and people like you and I can find each other. And that is one of the wonders of this new world we're in, of the information age. I should have gone the other way. Actually, I will. It's a great idea. So, yeah, Jesus, believe it or not, studied Buddhism. And his message was misinterpreted. It was actually misconstrued and tossed and turned and flipped and flopped all over the place by people who didn't want us humans or us average citizens to find out what life is all about, or also what kind of power we have inside of us. They don't want us to know how strong we are. I mean, that's their worst nightmare. Any leader wants to stay in power, and they'll do anything. The greed takes over the higher in the rankings they get. Maybe when you're just an average citizen, you couldn't even imagine having someone killed, or torturing or having slaves or anything like that. You would just, that is the opposite of what you would want, right? When you're just an average citizen, you couldn't even imagine to. But, however, I mean, when these people get higher up in the ranks, they get that power. They get that, crazy feeling, euphoric rush that's just constantly there, the more power they gain. Therefore, they wanted Jesus dead. He wasn't doing anything to help them. In fact, he was hurting. He was hurting the ones in power by telling people the truth. And he was very special. Very special. Buddha, I believe, lived about 500 years before him. So the Buddhist teachings, which they had written down, were still around. But they were just in different parts of the world. Now, Jesus wasn't by any means a poor man. Probably most people didn't know that. He had some money to travel around with. When the three kings came and gave him all that gold and all the gifts, the myrrh and frankincense, he was gifted a lot of money. And of course, Joseph and Mary, they knew what to do with it. And so he did have the means to travel. Back then you had to have some kind of money to travel, or you'd probably be dead before you even got 10 miles out, He was able to pay people to be with him, to protect him throughout that time. So, and God protected him. He had the ultimate connection. Now, you might be saying, Mike, Shut up, bro. You are so confused. I've heard that before. And while I used to be confused, there's no confusion here for me. There's no confusion. Now, do I know everything? No. I mean, the most certain thing I know is that I don't know anything. I mean, I'm always on the quest for more wisdom. I want to know, you know? And now, of course, I have vices and I have habits that hold me back. So, you know, I'm not even saying that I should be the one telling you all this, but you know, while I have a platform, I'm gonna speak my mind and what I've learned over the years and how I found my way, because I was lost, I'll tell you what. So I went to rehab. I was doing a lot of drugs and stuff, and I was doing a lot of drinking, and I was killing myself slowly but surely. So that was a big turning point for me, though. It was actually a Christian rehab. It was a Salvation Army rehab center. 100 people, 6 month to 1 year program. You graduate in 6 months. You can stay for another 6 months while you get situated, find a job, and find a place. So I went there twice. The first time, not on my own will, but on my father's. He wanted me to get better, so we found a rehab and I checked in. Well, that set me up for the next time I went, because the next time I went, 4 years later, I had hit rock bottom. I was homeless. Funny thing is, you know, I just tell it like it is. I'll tell you the truth, even if it's embarrassing or whatever. That's why people call me humble, and I'm not that humble, but I do tell people, you know, things that most people wouldn't tell other people. And guess what? Sometimes people need to hit rock bottom to understand, you know, how precious life is. And, you know, excuse me just one sec. I was saved, you know. I, you know, literally almost died a few times, more than a few. So I wasn't ready, you know. And anyways, yeah. So I'm here, and that's why I'm here. When you really hit rock bottom, you can decide to go, you know. But what's the point? Like, I haven't accomplished much. I don't want to go like that. The last thought in my head being that I was a failure. No, never. Yeah, so I feel like this is the second half of my life. And Buddhism did help a lot. Helped me. There was a few books that I read in rehab. Now, of course, in the rehab, you know, they were a Christian rehab, the Salvation Army, and they were just very, very generalized in their teaching. So at church and all that, they say the same thing over and over. Same thing I've heard my whole life, but even more general, because they're trying to just help, you know, drug addicts just get off. They want to give drug addicts something to hope for, some hope, you know, some kind of, that they wanted to let these addicts and alcoholics know that someone loves them no matter what. There's always Jesus who loves them no matter what. So accept Jesus into your heart and everything will be all right, and you'll go to heaven. And you know what? I'm just not gonna be satisfied with that anymore. You know, that's what I decided. I was like, no, like, I'm like a grown up now. You know, I'm 30. What was I? I was 30. I was 30. I had just turned 30. Big turning point. And I realized, what the hell am I doing in my life? Like, what am I? I'm 30 years old already. I felt like I was still 20 because that whole decade had flown by because I was so high. And looking back, it wasn't a bad thing. Don't ever regret anything in your life. It was like, it was meant to be. Every single thing that happened to me or for me was meant to be. And I accept that, and I cherish that thought. I cherish it. The tough times make you strong, I promise. They make you so strong. In rehab, we were a donation center, so we got books left and right donated to us. And yeah, there was a couple books that really helped open my eyes. There was one by Jonathan Haidt, Haidt. It was called The Happiness Hypotenuse. No, the Happiness Hypothesis. So I recommend go checking that out. It will actually open your eyes to the way people think and philosophies they go by, idealisms, ideologies that people live by all over the world, not just here in the United States. Now, am I bashing Christianity? No. Christianity is beautiful. It really is. It's beautiful if you understand it, and if you have a good pastor. You got to have an open-minded pastor, one who's not greedy either. There's a ton of greedy pastors. In all honesty, I would recommend just study it on your own, maybe. You go to church to have a common communion with people of like-minded tastes. People want to have that mass effect of energy, of celebrating, singing. I'm telling you, you feel so good when you're singing in unison with a choir and a band. It's beautiful, and it's beautiful. But however, now that's not going to save you, because you're going to want that, but you're not going to be looking inward as much. You're going to be still observing outward. The inward observations are what matter, and those are hard pills to swallow sometimes. Now, Buddhism helps. Let's take a look. There was a few books. So that one was the one that opened my eyes. While I was recovering, my body was adjusting. It was healing itself. My mind was healing itself. It's still healing. It's all still healing. And one of the best ways to heal yourself is to share what you have learned, and share what you feel, and be open, and because a lot of people drink and they do drugs so that they don't have to feel like they need to be open. Maybe at first when I was 21, I drank and I had a great time socializing. I drank and it helped me socialize, and I was a kid, and I've always been a person who has had some sort of kind of social anxiety. So never really knew exactly how to act in a crowd. I mean, what does this crowd expect from me? What am I supposed to do so that I'm not like standing out? And of course, having that in mind all the time made me stand out. So it's a funny thing, but and then starting that YouTube channel, really, it kind of helped. It did. It really helped a lot. There's a lot of shy people out there. Oh my God. If you only knew how much you're holding in, how much you could help other people by yourself. treat yourself to the fruits of life. I'm just starting the second half. This is wonderful. It takes a lot of effort for it to change your ways and change your life. You have to go into it with change in mind. Basics of Buddhism: compassion, ethics. Now, this is something I'm gonna be studying more, but I can tell you my thoughts on these. The Noble Eightfold Path view, vision. Thoughts on vision. Well, the older you get, the more experience you have in this 3D life, in this realm. Your perception changes. You get a wider view of what's going on. If you allow that to happen, if you go with the flow, because that's where what we're doing. We're flowing. I mean, what happens at the end of our life? It's just part of the flow. You can fight it. You can be afraid of death all your life and then never live. Or you can just go with the flow and celebrate the essence of this life and your freedom to do, what you want. I'm sure none of you who are listening or watching are slaves. I'm sure, in some, I'm talking about a little, through experiences and downfalls and uprisings. You have, so just let them be. The path. You gotta maybe step to the side. You walk to. It's beneficial to rest your mind a little. I don't believe. Just step to the side of the road. Take a break. That's fine. It's not like you're going backwards. Or you can take 2 steps forward, 1 step backwards. Okay? Because when you take 2 steps forward, you gain knowledge and wisdom. Then you can go back maybe and repair some of the things that needed repairing on that 1 step back. You can go back a little and you can make whatever is back there better. And then you can move on to the next great thing in your life. The next great discovery. Intention. Intention is everything. What's your intention? When you wake up, what do you want to do? What do you feel like doing? For yourself, for other people around you, for the world? What kind of intention do you have? None of you who are here, I'm sure, wake up with the intention to go rob someone or go shoot someone. I'm sure. I don't see why. Now, unless you have resentments and you're just dwelling in that extreme negativity because you feel like you have no other way to live. You feel like you have no control over your emotions, which you do. Everyone does. You just got to find a way to do it. Techniques. You got to keep looking. You have to be on a never-ending quest to find techniques to learn how to control your emotions with. It has to be a never-ending quest. Every day you got to be hungry for more. So what's your intention? You got to set your intention at the first thing in the morning. That's why I recommend in my live stream, I told you. In my live stream last night, I told you that, every morning, if you could just open the Bible, go to Proverbs. There's 31 Proverbs. There's an average of 30 days in a month. Just go to whatever day it is, like today's the 30th, go to Proverbs 30, first thing in the morning, and read it. It takes about 5 minutes, and it can change 23 hours and 55 minutes of the rest of your day. Completely. Could change the whole day for you. It does, because it's something to meditate on throughout your day, because it gives you moral questions to ponder throughout the day. Basically, you're asking, who am I? You know, how be a little bit better. And not to say that you and your original self and you just being you is not a good thing. I mean, we should all strive to understand who we are without the pressures of society being able to get into our heads and changing us. We should be able to. The older you get, the more you start to understand who you really are. That's why I understand when kids out of high school or even in their young 20s, you know, when they really just do things for the attention of their friends or the girls, or the guys for the girls, So it's really a society that it's a society that encourages social peer pressure. The kids really pressure each other nowadays. And they're pressuring themselves to do really very elementary things, like how many girls can they get with, and who can win in the most fights or whatever. Just these barbaric and animalistic things. But when you're a kid, you're going through so many changes, all the way through high school, that it's fucking scary. It is. It's scary unless you fit in somehow. If you feel cool, then you're not scared. So everyone wants to feel cool, Anyways, set your intention for something greater, Set yourself up greatness throughout the day. Every day, set an intention. I am going to bless this world with my kindness, with my compassion. I'm going to make someone smile today. I don't care how hard it's going to be, but they're going to smile, I'm going to smile more. Because everyone looks better and feels better when they smile. So, set your intention for something good in the morning. A really easy thing to do is read that proverb every morning. I'm telling you, try it out. Speech. Oh yeah, this is a good one. How do you talk? How do you talk? What do you say? You have to pay attention, guys. You gotta pay attention to the words you say. Now, I know I talk like I live in the streets, but I've lived all over the place, and I talk all sorts of weird accents, but that doesn't matter. See, that's paying attention to the surface. Pay attention to what's deeper. When someone speaks, you decide if you want to be around that kind of person. Right? If someone speaks negative words all the time, just negative, they always seem to bring you down, even though maybe they don't seem to be trying to, or they're not really trying to bring you down, or so it may seem. Maybe they're just negative, and they're, maybe you're a good, happy kind of person, and you want to cheer them up. You find this person that you find interesting, or you just feel like you want to help everyone sometimes. Sometimes you find people who just want to help everyone. And those poor, sad people, poor, sad souls, they get taken advantage by just about everyone. It's really sad. So over time, you do learn. Now, that's besides the point. The point is delete negative words from your vocabulary. Delete them. Pay attention to all the words you say. It took me a couple years to do this, and I still use negative words. However, it's an exercise that I've worked on, and it's helped me tremendously. It helps you tremendously, because guess what? You're gonna have positive people hanging around you. You're gonna have positive people wanting to be your friend and wanting to help you out with what they have. Everyone has things. Everyone has something to give. A lot of people don't feel like they do. It's really sad. Everyone does. Every single person. Everyone. Even Hitler. Well, I'm not going to go there, but I think you get my point. Anyone can change their ways. Everyone was born a little baby, very pure of heart, pure of soul, pure of spirit, of God essence. I'm telling you, they came directly from source just 9 months earlier. I mean, you think they were really that little sperm? No, because that was only half of them. They weren't even conceived. But I'm not going to get into that too much. But what you say matters. All right? It has a very deep psychological effect on you, on your psyche, the words you say, because you're also hearing the words you say. You hear them. Now, it's just like the thought you have. You have to pay attention to the thoughts you have. Don't bash on yourself. Don't say, I feel stupid. That's actually okay. But when people say, I'm stupid, you're actually making yourself stupid. I've said this plenty of times, but the two most important words in the English language are I am. Because anything that you put after those two words becomes what you are. And it's a self-fulfilling prophecy. You are deciding who you are at that very moment. Because every single moment is the last of that moment and in the beginning. It's the beginning and the end of that moment. Just stay in the now. Be in the now. All right? Actions. It turns into your actions, okay? What you say, eventually you're going to start doing, okay? So change your speech into some good stuff, and go look up like I am affirmations on YouTube. You'll find a whole bunch of videos that you can say to yourself. You can actually train yourself. It's like working out, but you're working out the psychology of the essence of you, of your mind. It's a powerful, very, very powerful tool. Very powerful tool. It's a big muscle. You gotta work it out, all right? And there's so many different ways to work it out. But putting your thoughts and your speaking and your words into action is important. Well, I mean, everything that ever happened or everything that ever existed came from someone having the thought first. So you think it, you speak it, you do it. All right. So it all comes from your intentions. Your actions stem from your intentions. If you put good intentions out for yourself, your actions are going to reflect your intentions. I mean, sometimes they won't. Sometimes you have to do something, whatever. Sometimes you slip or whatever. And you have bad habits. Everyone does. We all do. But you can't blame yourself, okay? And that's the worst thing to do. to be down on yourself. You're really destroying your psyche, your mind. You're destroying your spirit when you do that. Okay? Don't ever use negative language towards yourself or towards others. All right? But your actions should reflect your intentions and the things you say. You know, they should always reflect the things you say. Because if you say things but you don't do what you say you're going to do, no one's going to believe you. You won't have any credence. Your social stance will just go down the gutter. So you got to do what you say. Now, I know sometimes I say I'm going to do something and I don't. But as long as you try, you got to try. You got to try to do everything that you say you're going to do. And you got to be the person you preach for other people to be, you know? You got to be at least that person or better, you know? And talking to other people. Now, don't let it ever inflate your ego. Now, that's something I've, for the first time in my life, I've understood how people are able to grow such egos when multiples of thousands of people actually listen to them or view their videos or whatever, pay attention to them. It took a long time in my life for anyone to pay attention to me. But it's because I didn't have anything to say. I had to hit rock bottom. I had to make the choice. It was a huge choice. But I didn't have much of a choice, to be honest. It was either death, being homeless, keep doing drugs and drinking till I kill myself, or do something that was tough. But, you know, pack up, just leave and go to rehab and live there I lived there for 9 months. But in that time, I mean, I'm telling you, wow, what a transformation. And I still have a lot of problems, you know. There's still a lot of unfortunate truths that I you know, are hard for me to face. So, like, I humbly tell you, like, I'm not any better than anyone. I just feel better. I feel better than I used to. I feel a lot better. I feel like I have a purpose. I feel like I have something to say. Now, I always had this in me. I just didn't have the confidence, you know? But when you go through, and you got to prove to yourself what you're made of. When you do that, you can show the world. You got to, if you fall down, just get right back up, you know? And do it again, but do it differently. You got to do it differently, you know? Maybe just make some minor adjustments. That's fine. But don't do the same damn thing. Of course, everyone knows the meaning of doing that. It's whatever. Insanity. I've been insane before, I guess. I think we all have. But if you keep being insane consciously, then you're just holding yourself down. Like, what are you doing? You're in a never-ending spiral, downward spiral, you know? It's like trading crypto, you know, and trading. If you keep trading and losing, stop. You're not a trader. You weren't meant to be a trader. And I've been losing money the last few months. Because now I realize, well, don't trade when the whole market's in a downtrend. I mean, when it's going up, it's a lot easier to sell the tops, wait till it goes down again, and then buy the bottom, you know? Especially you find certain coins that pump 20% in a day, and then they go down, you know, 10% the next day. Then they pump 20% the day after that, you know, if you're in a full-blown bull market. But anyways, that's besides the point. Livelihood is big, okay? do something productive for yourself and produce for the world. That's a great way to think of it, to think of your job, you know. And it doesn't even, you don't even have to think of it as a job. Just do something that you can find something that makes you happy too. You can find something that makes you money, that makes you happy too. But you know what? Guess what? The better way to do it is to find something that you really like doing. You know, have a part-time job, but then find your passion. There's got to be some passion out there that you can find. Mine's crypto. I love crypto. I love the tech. You know, I love all that. People are so weird that they're just staring at. I forgot about this. People just stare at me when I talk on the phone. They just stare at me. What the hell is that guy doing? He's walking around the parking lot like. I just don't want to go in the store because I'm talking on the live stream. Let me go sit down somewhere. Actually, I'm gonna go sit down. Yeah, I forget. I pace around when I'm concentrating. Someone told me once. She said, "I thought you were on drugs." I'm like, "No, it's just me." She knew me for a few years when she told me that, and she's like, "Oh," and then I just realized that's just. And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm just a weirdo." Oh, damn it, the seats are all taken. I'll go sit on the curb. I just have a few more thoughts, you know, to share. And the reason I'm sharing these is I have two reasons. I want to help people. I hope some of you are taking good messages from this stream. And I also need to speak these things out loud sometimes, in a condensed matter. This is great. It's good for me. It's good for you to hear things like this. I don't know if you need to hear it from me, but there are things like this that we should all but we should all try to listen to, at least every once in a while. Try to teach ourselves how to set ourselves back on the straightforward path. And all right, I'm just gonna sit here. Okay, found a seat. So, livelihood is important. You got to do something. Strive to do something. So I was doing a part-time job. Now I took a big risk and I quit my job after 3.5 years of doing serving and busing at a restaurant. Now I'm doing just this, and I got a mosquito on my hand. All right, so now I'm just doing crypto stuff. All right, so I was trading during June, July, August, making mad gains. I'm sure some of you, hopefully, were doing the same, you know, making mad gains, all right, and having a lot of fun. Now, I took a chance. Now, the thing is, look, I haven't been doing YouTube too much lately, but I'm getting back into the swing of things. I had a few months where I was just kind of sorting things out in my life. Sorting out priorities, you know, figuring stuff out. I moved, quit my job, like a lot of life changes. And now I'm just trying to figure out what I'm gonna do, and I'm more settled and more, you know, able to do that. And now I think I'll be streaming more often. I'll be putting out more, you know, better quality videos more often. And trying to figure out some kind of format, you know, on my YouTube channel. It's a platform. I mean, I have to use the platform that I've built over the last 2 years. It would be foolish not to, because I have information that I'd like to get out to people. And a lot of people, for some reason, tell me that I have a good channel, and that's wonderful. It makes me feel very good. It makes me feel productive, like I'm producing for the world. That's what you need to do for your livelihood, okay? Because the world will give back to you in some way, shape, or fashion. It always happens. The world will take care of you if you take care of it. Set your intent right. Remember, you want to help others. You want to produce for this world. The worst feeling in the world is feeling like you're worthless. Like you don't have anything. That's a terrible feeling. Just realize that you can, and you should put it out there. You've got that. You've got it now. You just got to find your way. And there's a lot of people here who are way more advanced than me in that of their lives. And for that, I'm grateful. I'm very grateful to have a lot of you in my life. Wonderful people. I've met so many wonderful people over the last 2 years from all around the world. And these are people who they like to produce for the world as well. They give me great insight. They give me great friendship. It's great support. And that's what we should be doing. Sometimes it's hard to give support for other people, but when you feel good about yourself, it's easy. You feel like you can make a difference in people's lives. And that brings me to effort. You got to put the effort in. Now, you can use the law of attraction all you want, because it's always there. Oh, I better put a mask on. That's probably why people are staring at me. Hold on. Okay, I might be a little muffled, but I don't think it's too bad. I think you can still hear me. Like I was saying, you can use the law of attraction all you want. You can visualize the thing that you choose to have in your life, and you'll have it. As long as you do something to get it. You can't just think about it. It's not going to magically appear in your life. If you want a castle, you can't just think about it until it appears in your backyard. You know, it's not just going to appear. You have to work for that. You got to do things. You got to put the effort into it. But it's always great to have that in mind, that visualization. And you got to think about it like you already have it, so that you can get the feeling. It's all about the feeling. When you get that wonderful feeling that you already have $500 million, you start acting like it. You start acting like it until it becomes your reality. So you start changing little things here and there, shifting things around in your life, your habits, your character. You develop a character that is fitting for that kind of lifestyle. You use the law of attraction, but to use it and put it into use, you have to put in an effort. Wise effort is the cultivation of healthy seeds and abandonment of unwholesome ones. It's kind of blurry. Mindfulness. Now this is the one I need to. These last two ones are pretty much the ones I need to work on more than anything right now. Mindfulness and concentration. I've worked on a lot of the other six, or ones I'm working on right now, and I'm sure a lot of you have gone through them and are able to meditate and do. You know, that's another practice. You know, so that's pretty much like the next step for me, is to practice mindfulness, where you're in. You surround yourself with only observations and no judgment while you're in a meditative state. Only observation, no judgment, because judgment separates you from the rest of the world. It puts you in a place of ego. And it separates you. And that's the last thing we want, guys. Alright? There's a lot of polarization right now. in our political atmosphere. I mean, the whole world is polarized. I'll tell you what, the people in charge, they're doing their job very well. They've managed to get the whole world on one side or another. There's only like 10% of people who don't want any part of that, and they want to actually be part of life essence itself. They want to dive into that pool of essence, that life essence. They want to be unified. They want to be in that love state. And as long as you still have that desire to be unified, you'll be all right. You'll feel all right. Polarization is not a good feeling because it stems from a fear state. Because what does it bring up? A lot of anger, a lot of anxiety, a lot of stress. A lot of people are stressed out right now about the coronavirus and the elections. And the ones in charge, they got us right where they want us. We're exactly where they want us, aren't we? So mindfulness is very special, and it's something I need to practice. It's very, I've told myself this, and I got to stop telling it to myself, but I keep telling myself it. I don't have the concentration to meditate. That's not true. I just need to recognize the distractions in my life and adjust accordingly. Set aside a whole hour of not having your laptop on, not having the television on, not having the radio on, not having any electronic device on, Start making adjustments in your daily schedule. Sometimes you gotta hit rock bottom and remind yourself, you gotta really just remind yourself of how bad it can get if you don't go by a daily habitual schedule that is beneficial for you. Create good habits. It doesn't take that long. Now, you need to break bad habits while you're creating good habits. And most of us have the world at our fingertips now. We have Google, we have the internet. We have so much knowledge of how to do that and what habits are actually good for us. So do it. Make the effort. Concentration. So, that's a product of mindfulness. When you can concentrate on something, you're just being, being in that zone. You can get into a zone. And it's beautiful. When I get into a zone, I just feel the closest I've ever felt to being in the ether, And when you're in full concentration mode, when you're in the zone, that's as close as we can get to going into fourth density. But that's kind of how I see it. So I'm gonna go in the store. Too many people are wondering what the hell I'm doing. So I'm gonna go in the store now. Thanks for being here, guys. If there is anyone here, good. Wow, I thought there'd be more people, but the ones who stay, and listen and really want to learn from these kind of live streams, you're the ones I want around. You're the special ones. And you're also in a place to where you want to hear this at this point in your life, and that's good. Sometimes I don't want to hear this kind of stuff. There's stages in my life where I don't want to hear any of this. I just want to have fun and you know. I want to just do fun things, you know. But the tough stuff is the stuff that makes you grow. It helps you grow. I mean, this is all knowledge. This is all wisdom. And a lot of people, so there's a difference between knowledge and wisdom. Having knowledge and not putting it to use is just having knowledge. It's just there. You know, it's it's like a currency that's just sitting there. It's not in circulation. You know, it's not doing anything for you, for anyone. You have knowledge, but it's just sitting there dormant. But you can activate it and put it to use and gain wisdom along the way. And wisdom is experience along with knowledge. Having knowledge and using it to have experiences gains you wisdom. That should be a token, the wisdom token. All right, guys, I'm gonna get going. Thanks for being here. I really do appreciate you. Thanks, Kay. Thanks for being here. This whole really cool. Dano, what's up? Awesome. Thanks, Dano. Wahlberg's world. If the difference between obeying the path and walking the path. Right. Yeah. Obeying the path. It's just kind of staying within the boundaries, but not really going anywhere. I mean, walking the path is much more difficult, but the treasures you will find worth it. And they're all within yourself, too. You know, what's up, Brian? And so, with that, I'm going to leave it. Thank you very much for being here. Love you guys. Be good people, always.